You know manga is in the endgame when every new chapter tops the previous one. Right, so Aqua plays the role of Hikaru Kamiki, which was to be expected. I know some people believed he would play the role of the stalker, but there you have it. It didn't make sense for Aqua to play a minor role as the stalker. What's interesting about this is that Aqua wrote the name of his father on the script for everyone to see. So he doesn't keep it a secret. I don't think it's outright spelled that Kamiki is the villain, but it will surely be implied. The reason I mention this is because now there is a 100% chance for the script to get leaked to Kamiki, and some way somehow Kamiki will get involved before the film premieres. One day Frill is going to leak it. I think the other roles are what people expected, although it's quite intriguing that Airi and Seijuro are in the film. This implies that they are planning to show what happened between them, to show that it wasn't a double suicide, but rather that Kamiki was part of it. We'll get to see, hopefully, whether it was Airi who abused Kamiki or whether he wasn't the innocent kid. But what I really can't wait to talk about is the script reading part of this chapter. Especially Ai's "I can't love you" line. Gotanda says that this actual line was spoken by Ai on the DVD she gave Aqua, which really makes me wonder what was on that DVD. It seems like Ai was addressing Kamiki, either in person or on the phone. There's also a chance that she figuratively was speaking to Kamiki, like he wasn't there but she was addressing him. Whichever way it was, what's important is that I was addressing Kamiki, and she told him that she couldn't love him, a line that Aqua and Ruby interpreted as a parting word, but that was clearly not what I meant. We'll elaborate on this in a second. Gotanda also says that Aqua realized that I saw the true nature of Hikaru Kamiki, but I don't think Aqua's interpretation is correct. I don't think I believed Kamiki was a bad influence and definitely not a murderer. I talked about this in more detail in this video, but basically, if I believed Kamiki to be a threat, then she wouldn't have called him in chapter 8 to ask him to visit the kids. She wouldn't put her children in danger now, would she? It doesn't make that much sense. I mean, there is of course a possibility that I recorded that DVD after she called Kamiki, and then she would realize she made a mistake and that Kamiki became a threat, but this doesn't line up with a lot of other things. We have to remember that I was always seeking love. Since the first time we met her, we learned that she didn't know love and she desperately wanted to find it. Now, according to Kaburagi, I found love at Lalalie or Lalalie, Lalali, Lalalai, whatever the fuck you pronounce it, where she met Kamiki. But we know this isn't true. She says it herself that she couldn't find love. She couldn't love Kamiki, she couldn't love her fans, she couldn't love her children. Until the very end, of course. However, at the time she met Kamiki, shortly after Ichigo recruited her, she wanted to find someone or something to love. That's where Kamiki comes in. She wanted to love Kamiki because it seemed like he changed her, but she never could. Hence why the "I can't love you" line isn't a parting line, but rather a genuine confession. I wanted to love Kamiki, but she simply couldn't. Not because of Kamiki himself, but rather because she didn't understand what it meant to love. And this is further supported by the fact that she couldn't tell her children that she loves them, that she didn't know whether she loves them or not. We hear her say that she loves them at the end, but before she couldn't say it, meaning she didn't understand love. What's even more interesting is this line I said. I thought that if I became a mother, I would be able to love my children. Now this implies that I wanted children, not necessarily Kamiki, or at least that she wanted them more than Kamiki, but given that Kamiki showed no interest in the children, he even wanted to get rid of them in chapter 1, I would lean towards I wanting to become a mother. This opens the possibility that I influenced or took advantage of Kamiki to get her pregnant. Then she selfishly went ahead with the pregnancy despite Kamiki wanting the opposite. And this ties very nicely into what I said in my previous video, that I forgave Kamiki for what he did. So in chapter 116, Frill Shiranui says that Aqua's film relies on whether or not I forgave Kamiki, which also relies on whether or not the actress who plays I can figure that out. We know that Ruby was chosen to play the role of I. However, We also know and have been shown throughout the whole manga that Akane understands Ai the most. She can express what Ai was trying to convey and understand whether she had forgiven Kamiki. And so, what conclusion can we draw from this scene? If the film relies on whether Ai forgave him or not, it means two things. One, if she didn't, then the film condemns Kamiki and he's the big villain, pretty straightforward. Two, if she did, then that renders Aqua's revenge useless or no longer necessary. There's little point in taking revenge on someone I already forgave. Now this doesn't mean Ruby will get it right, it doesn't mean she will realize Ai's intention, but it means that Akane will. I will go ahead and say with my hand on my soul that I am 100% sure Ai forgave Kamiki, and that is the way Akane will try to oppose Aqua. Quote me on that. This idea is also supported by Gotanda. He thinks that Ruby and Aqua's interpretation of Ai's line is wrong. Look at how he reacted in this panel after he mentioned what I was saying. It's clear that he thinks their interpretation is wrong. Ai didn't reject Kamiki because she figured out his true nature. But what is the other interpretation? Well, that she genuinely wanted to love Kamiki, but she simply couldn't because she didn't understand love itself. Hence why she says that she can't love him. The same way she wanted to love her fans, the same way she wanted to love her children. That's what I think Gotanda meant to point out. Another interesting thing about Gotanda is that he says the Crow Girl's tone resembles a twisted adult trapped inside a child, which reminds him of Aqua. This could fuel the theory that she's just another reincarnated person like Aqua and Ruby, but also that she's just much older than she looks, which is the reasoning I lean towards. Her stage name though, well, that's something. Tsukuyomi. I have been waiting for a long time to see Tsukuyomi's name appear in the manga ever since I made the first video on Oshi no Ko, but I didn't expect to see it as the Crow's stage name. The question here is, does this mean she's Tsukuyomi? Now, despite what she says in the previous chapter, that she guides people with the light of the moon, I don't think she's Tsukuyomi. There are just so many things that point towards her being a Tagarasu that I simply can't see her being somebody else. So I'm going to be stubborn and stick to my guts, might regret it later, but I still think Tsukuyomi is connected to Kamiki. I feel like it has to, otherwise, who the fuck is Kamiki supposed to be? I mean seriously, Oshi no Ko draws a bunch of parallels to Amaterasu's legend. We already established quite a few connections between them, and if this little girl is indeed Tsukuyomi, then how does she fit into this whole story? Why hunt Kamiki? Who is Kamiki supposed to be or supposed to represent? That's what I don't get. Also, since when does Tsukuyomi guide people? If you think about his legend, Tsukuyomi spends his eternity chasing Amaterasu across the sky. So would that mean Kamiki has a connection to Amaterasu? We've been fooled this whole time? It feels very odd at the moment. I really feel like I'm missing something obvious. But next week is a break, so I'll have time to dig deeper into this. Maybe I'll make a video on it, or maybe by the time I make the video the answer will be revealed. Anyway, this is it for today. Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I'll see you next time.